All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to my interview with the amazing QSI superstar, Rachel Schaming. Welcome, Rachel.
Welcome to me and to you, Karen. I'm so excited to be here. I know we have lots of our friends here too, so we're going to have a wonderful time.
That we are. And I'm just going to check our Business Boost group on Facebook. I
Okay.
always check and make sure we're going live. And I think we are. Okay. I'm looking. Now let me refresh the page. And let me just go here oh, there we are. Beautiful. So we are live, and I'm just so thrilled to have with me today one of our amazing coaches that is going to inspire everyone. I mean, Rachel, every time I talk to you, I'm just so inspired. But I really want you to share a little bit with the coaches about your journey this year since
Yes.
the start of the pandemic and how this all transpired, and let us know what has gone on?
Well, Karen, you and I know this, but it was just about a year ago when you and I had lunch at the lovely La Paloma. Nobody was talking about COVID at that time. I was still employed at the college, and I knew I wanted to start moving away from working for someone else. So we started one-to-one coaching. And then I fessed up to you that I'm 80, but I'm still not done. I still wanted to do some things. So by mid-March, well, let me just add one other sentence. Through those months of January and February, you were very kind and gentle about what was my niche, what was my signature program. I had no clue about either one of those, but you were very patient, asking me wonderful things like, when I look back over my career at NASA, law firms, Texas Medical Center, etc., what is the common thread across all of that? And I started telling you about supporting leaders with difficult conversations that I call cringe moment conversations. So by mid March, COVID hit. And now I am working from home like everybody else. And during that time of, let's say, mid March to April, we really honed in on what is my niche. My ideal client is a CEO, senior leader, or exec team. Their challenges, they're struggling with a painful decision or conversation. Perhaps they put it off, they dread it, they're afraid they're going to make it worse. And what they really want is peace of mind and a path forward, some kind of respectful ending to those conversations. So late in May, you suggested that I get some support for social media postings. I had no social media presence, as you well know, and managed not to laugh hysterically when we talked about that. But I started working with Tiffany and her wonderful group. I began Facebook videos in late May. A bit of a nervous wreck about that. I'd never done it ever. And then the postings were on Facebook, but also on LinkedIn. Near the end of June, my contract with the college was ending, and I turned down a $50,000 project. I could have done the project. It was about HR auditing. And yes, I know how to do that, but I didn't want to do it. I knew by that time this is going to take me away from my genius work, the term that you were using. So I turned it down, a little bit of anxiety about that. And wouldn't you know that 3 days later, I had a $50,000 contract. And I know you've told us about a similar kind of situation for you. So you invited me to participate in the QSI that started last June. And I thought, okay, I'll go way out there and I'll put on my goal of 50,000. And I doubled that. I got to 110 in that first QSI. And then I really dived into the MRCs, the master.
Rachel, hang on a second. Move the camera a little bit over because I want you're moving to the side, and I really want to see you.
Well, let's see. Here we
This
go.
one, yeah, yeah, good, perfect. Because
Okay.
we know you're coming off the screen, and we want to see lovely you.
Well, we can't be having me off the
Oh,
screen. Good,
perfect.
good grief. Okay. So I started diving into those MRCs, and I didn't do MRCs with strangers. I went back to people that I know really well. These are senior leaders. First of all, I wanted to let people know the shift I was making from the corporate world to being on my own. And I also started to develop a signature program. So the signature program was, first of all, a master class, and then second was a 6 weeks course on navigating through cringe moment conversations. So during that time, I worked with our beloved Sandra Clark to update my LinkedIn profile. And then I booked 4 speaking engagements. Speaking is one of the ways that I have always generated opportunities for coaching or consulting. And then I really worked my network. Over the years, I've stayed very active in the SHRM organization, the Association of Legal Administrators, higher ed organizations, and I even contacted bosses that I had 20, 30 years ago. So in August, I finalized all the cringe moment materials. September, we did the master class. That was in October, and then we started right after that the cringe moment coursework. In October, I started the second QSI. Now I'm really getting bold, and I put myself out there with 100,000, and I finished that QSI with 225,000. So I don't know who was more surprised, me or the universe. But the the amazing thing that I have learned is I am not killing myself. I used to easily work 50, 60 hours a week, and I'm not doing that anymore. Maybe 20. Occasionally, I get up to 25. But the key thing is that consistency in getting out there with the postings on Facebook, LinkedIn. I've written a lot of things over the years, so some of it I can actually fine tune and use again. Um, I follow up rigorously with people, and by that I don't mean I'm giving them a hard sale. I might just check in. How's it going? How are you doing with COVID? What's your big challenge now? And then I send articles. I send links to, say, a webinar, anything that I think might be of interest to them. And yes, I do track it on an Excel spreadsheet similar to what we use in QSI for tracking. So the industries that I've been in, multi industries, and such as NASA, large law firms, high tech, medical, and higher ed most recently. So another thing is I love this work. Most people would be like, oh, really? Supporting people with these difficult conversations. I am in my element when I am with someone who is in the swamp with these kinds of things. The dollars are coming with ease and joy, the expression that you use frequently. Um, One big tip I want to give our listeners is do not focus on your website. It's such a suck of time. If you have interest in having a website, hand that over to someone like Andrea, who and Tiffany. They can really spiff it up. Take that off of yourself. The other thing is getting help with those social media postings. That freed me up to focus on content, and it helped me focus on the real clients that I want to work with. And is every single case I ask them, who else should I talk with? Would you be willing to make an introduction to, if I knew they knew someone that I didn't know directly? I never just call up someone randomly, like take a shot in the dark. I prefer the introduction. It can be a virtual introduction. Um, but now that I am entering the January QSI, I remember asking you 2, 3 weeks ago, Karen, am I really overstepping it if I have a goal of 150,000? Well, right now I'm sitting just under 90% of getting that goal. So my goodness, there's something about putting that out there. And the other thing is relaxing into the flow that Sandra said not too long ago, when they're ready, they will come. And that is so true. I mentioned recently that I heard from a boss that I had 20 years ago. What can we do together? I mean, he just threw that out like something to stick on the fridge. So it will happen. But when you're frightened and when you're fearful of where the next dollar is coming from, that can come through in our interactions with others. So the tips I would offer is stay in that essence energy. For me, that means I'm constantly in gratitude. I am also, I try to be as generous as I possibly can with other people. I might be a little farther along in life, but helping others is such a joy. Karen, I'm doing all the talking here. You probably have a question or two. I'm like I'm like a babbling brook here.
You're answering them all, Rachel. And I just want to point out a few things to the coaches of what Rachel's saying. It's all warm contacts. It's about recreating that signature program and then putting, like, being the lighthouse. Rachel, you're a lighthouse, putting this stuff out there, and then people are contacting you. How are you? Or they make a comment on your post. You follow up, and it's all very natural. And the other thing I want to mention about you, Rachel, which I think coaches need to think about, is your audience with these difficult conversations are senior leaders. Okay.
Yes.
And so, if you could actually help marriages with difficult conversations, you could help managers with employee performance, difficult conversations, you could help anybody. But if you focus it on senior leaders, that's where the bigger contracts are. And the other point I want to make, which is so funny, is you decided to create a class on cringe moment conversations. And as most of our classes are, we're very transparent here. There wasn't a huge sign up because it was the first time anyone had ever heard about it. And you went through with the class, and it was fantastic. And we talked about it afterwards, and we said, maybe instead of doing one-on-one enrollments, you could sell this class into a group. Rachel, tell us what you did.
Yes, that's a big. That's really where the big dollars came from for this third time I'm going through QSI. I was a past president of the International Association of Law Firm Administrators. They reached out to me because several of those folks were. What would we call it? Lurking, watching my videos on Facebook and particularly LinkedIn. And I was approached by the board of that organization if I would be willing to modify the content just slightly so that it would fit law firm executives' needs. And they would pay me $100,000 for the use of the curriculum for 1 year. I don't have to sign it over forever. So I thought, okay, I've completely lost my hearing. I better check this out with Karen because I think something's off. Well, it has flowed beautifully and effortlessly. My goodness, it's effortless. But how did that all happen? I stayed in touch with that network. I have offered to do free. There are a lot of chapters in that organization. I do free presentations at various monthly meetings. I don't charge for that. I follow up and send them articles or white papers or anything that will support them in their work. I will give away at the meetings a couple of coaching hours. So I'm reaching out to them. I'm back to the being as generous as you possibly can. It comes back to you in spades. It really does. So now this week I was contacted. I should save this for Friday. Oh, I can't. I just have to share it. So, two things. I was contacted by the chairman of the SHRM organization, Society for Human Resource Management, asking if we could set up a call, that he's been following my postings on LinkedIn. I didn't know this guy was out there following anything of mine. So who knows where that will go. And remember, some time ago, I mentioned a former US Senator had asked if I would like an introduction to the Biden administration. He and Joe Biden are very tight friends. This week, in fact, it was 2 days ago, I was introduced to the communications department for Joe Biden. Joe is moving out there. And you've heard him say, if I see disrespectful conduct, I will fire the person on the spot. So he wants to not have that opportunity. So I don't know exactly where that will go, but I can go back to it's staying in touch with people you know. I did work about 3 years ago for the senator's family business. He has remembered me, and I send emails or cards. Or he had surgery a year or so ago. I sent a little gift. It's thinking of what can I do for these other people in my life, letting go of. They are going to give me a hunk of change to do some additional work. It's about caring about people. And Karen, you're the model of this. Caring, and you're so generous with all of us, and for certain me. But it hasn't even been a year, Karen. My goodness, I just can't get over this.
Well, Rachel, you are amazing. Such an inspiration to all of us. And I know I actually love your humbleness, because you put it out there. I'm 80 years old, but you are never too old to learn. Uh-oh, Rachel, we lost you on your video.
Let me see if I can come back.
You're still here with us.
I'm still here.
You're still here. Let's see if we can get you back. In the meantime, I'm just going to say, I can see an outline. There we are. Okay. Oh, it went away again. Huh. Okay. Now the volume. See if we can mess with the volume a little bit. All right, say hello. I'm hoping it's not my volume. No, it's not my volume. Rachel, we see if you can do something with your volume. Oh, try it again. Somehow it's muting and unmuting, but the volume is gone. Oh my gosh. All right. We can't hear you, but just smile for a minute, Rachel, because I want to brag about you. I hope you can hear me. You're so humble, and you're able to really learn. And, I just want to say, like, Rachel, you're on so many different free classes and everything. You just soak it up like a sponge. And I see Tiffany is messaging me. We can hear you and not Rachel. Yeah, something is going on with this studio. So I'm just going to say to everybody, Rachel is a great inspiration. Rachel has taken the courses. Rachel took the Niche Remedy course, and that's how she got her power of one. She focused in, and then she got into Quick Start Intensive. And I'm just going to make an invitation here to anyone who's thinking about being in the Quick Start Intensive. We're having a Niche Remedy course that starts next week. If you sign up for Quick Start Intensive, the February, we're going to put you in Niche Remedy for free, our treat, and you'll really get to dial this in, as Rachel did, and then you'll be able to hit the ground running on the Quick Start. So Rachel, let's try one more time. Can we hear you? You're saying hello. Okay, so this is one of those technical times. But I want to just say to everyone, thank you for being here. And I want to say to you, Rachel, thank you for being such an inspiration to coaches everywhere. You just give so much, and there's so much generosity here. And so we're going to end our our call today. And we really want to invite anyone who wants to become part of the Niche Remedy next week. reach out. We're going to be sending this out actually by email because we've had a few glitches with Facebook and now, of course, with Be Live, but that doesn't stop us. So thank you, Rachel, for being who you are. Thank you, coaches, for being who you are. And we'll be back to see you again soon. Bye-bye, everyone.